So, I'm just sitting here drinking my Mexican hot chocolate because it's the thing to do. I'm about to put on some Harry Potter because I freaking love Harry Potter. You know, it's funny. Rewatching the Harry Potter movies, you especially now, and understanding myself and my spiritual journey and magical journey, I'd like to call it, I think, now instead of spiritual, because it is all magical in a sense, right? But I've already watched the first and second movies. I'm on to the third. I think it's The Prisoner of Azkaban. That's the third one. So I'm like rewatching these because I believe I was like the female version of Harry Potter in a sense. And I say that because one, can you see the scar? So I got that scar when I was like a kid, like a baby. I don't even remember like it happening. I just remember being told that I fell on cement steps and cracked my head open, and supposedly it just healed my mom and dad at the time. Didn't take me to the hospital, or I was told my dad didn't want to take me to the hospital. Whatever the story was, I supposedly never went to the hospital to get it go checked out. Yeah, that's probably why I'm so like off, y'all. No, I'm not even off. I just say that because it's like it makes sense to me. And that's why I'm like really into the whole Harry Potter scene, or whatever you want to call it. I've always been drawn to magical movies. I've always been drawn to like Hocus Pocus, the Halloween movies, and I'm not talking the horror Halloween movies. I'm talking about the Disney Halloween movies, Halloween Town, and like Charmed, and just like all things magical, right? Even like with Hannah Montana, where she lived two different lives. You know, she was famous in one life and she was just an ordinary girl in another type shit, right? So for me, like, just like looking back at some of these things that I was drawn to, not understanding, you know, how vibrant and real it is for me now. The fact that, you know, a lot of it's just more symbolic than actual, you know, physical reality type shit. But in a sense, it's also physical reality type shit. And it's super cool, and it's super, like, I don't want to say the word depressing, but it just, like, it's, like, so deep where it's just, like, you start to, like, get emotional about it. Like, wow, like, I was drawn to these movies, but I was also going through that shit, too, like, with Harry Potter's family. Now, I don't like to talk shit or talk bad about, you know, people from my past. People that I don't connect with anymore, or my family, or shit like that, right? Because for me, like, we all have our reasons, in a sense, for why we do things. Whether it's a good reason, whether it's a bad reason, whether we don't know, whether we do know, whatever the fuck, right? And for me, it's like, I don't blame anybody. Yeah, I went through what I went through. I dealt with what I dealt with. And I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm still choosing to, you know, understand myself, heal, you know, move forward with my life and find peace within my life and not dwell on the past, right? And when I look at these people and connect it to like certain movies and shows and whatnot, you know, we look at a lot of these people that are mean or bullies or just a villain in the storyline as horrible, bad people. And I get it, right? Because there's some people that are like straight up evil. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? But then you got to look at their story too. You got to look at the fact that how they became the villain, at the fact that why they're evil, why they hate other people. And yeah, at the end of the day, we all have a choice. We can change. We can choose to change. But that's the thing. It's a choice. They choose. They choose that lifestyle. They choose that thing. And for me, how I see those type of people, especially in my life, those people helped me in a way. Not in a great way, right? You know, I went through that experience with those people, with those family members, with those connections, with those friends, whatever. Yet I learned something from it. And that's where it can end. Is, yeah, we experienced that shitty moment, that shitty experience, that awful feeling, that lifestyle for a little bit, but we chose to change. We chose to find something better. We chose to move forward with our life and not stay and dwell in that area in our life. And that's what I chose to do. And even if they weren't like necessarily evil people, right? They were still not people that I wanted to surround myself with or connect myself with, just because I seen other opportunities out there that they just weren't about. And so that's where it's like, okay, I'm just gonna part ways. And sometimes those people don't understand that. They want to hold you back. They want to try and still connect with you even though you're ready to let go and move forward. And you know, with watching these certain movies and just seeing, you know, different sides, different perspectives, and understanding their story, it's like, hey, like, you don't want to let me go? Well, that just tells me that more about myself, a reflection of myself that I don't see. That you actually really do like me. You really do, you know, like my energy or are motivated or inspired by me. Yet you don't want to do anything. You only want it for yourself. You only want to utilize that energy, that part of me, for yourself, for your needs, but don't want to give it back to me in return, you know, and don't want to utilize to help you change, to help you, you know, do better in your life. Or maybe you do, you just do it in a manipulative way, an evil way. And it's interesting. It's interesting for me to just like really ponder on a lot of these things of what people have said, people what have done, and connected to these certain movies and relate to these certain movies and storylines and whatnot. Because it helps me just really sit here and not only talk about it, but also like really reflect on the side of the villain or the person that I'm not connected to anymore, and really just send in love and compassion and just hope that one day they will decide to like heal themselves and just better themselves, you know, because that's really all we can do. You know, instead of focusing on how to take revenge, instead of focusing on how to just dwell on how they hurt us and how they, you know, manipulated us or whatnot, you know, just focus on the fact that, you know, I'm loving myself, I'm respecting myself, I'm doing what I can, the best I can to move forward and heal myself, along with, you know, sending that frequency of love out into the world. That this hair connected to my hand. that shows who I really am, but also just shows who they really were and how they have really been. And just that's that karma right there. Is just me moving forward, loving myself, and knowing that, hey, you know, I did the best I can. I lived that lifestyle. I understood, in a sense, that path. But now I'm on a different path. Now I'm changing. Now I'm transforming. Now I'm growing and trying new paths and new opportunities. And, you know, understanding the fact that I've been through that experience for a reason, to help me know that's not what I want in my life. That's not what I want to surround myself with. And it's like I still love those people. I still care about those people. Yet they don't have to be in my life. They don't have to surround me and no, Abby. They don't have to surround me to the point where it's hurting me. Where it's hurting me continuously. And to where I can still move on knowing that I have the love in my heart for them, but I can still move forward. I can still take these new paths and radiate that frequency wherever I go with whoever, other new connections and whatever new places I run into. Because at the end of the day, people are going to be people. People are going to either stay in that reality, that lifestyle, wherever they're at, just continue to dwell in that, right? Or they're going to see the person that's changing, transforming, and moving forward and bettering themselves and healing themselves and loving themselves, and choose to do that for themselves to be able to go on their path that they're meant to go on, wherever that is, right? And sometimes I feel that sadness for those people, because it's like a lot of times there'll be those certain individuals that will want to come back into your life, in some way or form, even if you've blocked them, even if you've disconnected from them, moved away from them, whatever it may be, right? They'll still try to come back into your life and do or say certain things to just only show that they're still dwelling in the past. They're still trying to get back into your old version of yourself, when in reality you're farther than you're farther away from them than anything. And it's just, sorry, Abby's distracting me right now. She's trying to get into her little place. Hold on, come here, mamas. There you go. There. So that's her little but besides all that, it saddens me, because it's like, why try to come back and hold on to this old version of myself? And even though I don't really have to dwell on that or think about that or ask myself why, it's a reason that ponders in my mind, because it's like, yeah, I get that they still want to be connected to me, but it's like, why don't they want to heal themselves? I know there's many people that talk about, oh, well, it's because they're afraid. They don't want to deal with their past. They don't want to deal with the healing. They don't want to do all these things to help them grow. And I get that. But at the end of the day, I still ask myself why. Like, why? Because it's like, for me, and maybe this is just me. Maybe this is just how I see the world, and why I've always been so resilient to change and better myself and transform and just keep moving forward, because I've been through so much turmoil, with, the way I came into this world, the way I was raised, yada, yada, yada. And it's like, and I still have to remind myself sometimes that, hey, I've didn't come this far to get this far. Like, I'm right exactly where I need to be. Yet I've overcome so much already that I need to just fucking chill, for one. But two, like, you're good. You're good right where you are. And you're going to continue to be good, because you have that good heart. You have that love within yourself. And that's where it comes down to, well, not everybody's the same, everybody's unique, everybody has their own, sense of direction kind of thing, and I get that. I do. Yet we still have a choice. And I think that's where it just really comes down to, is we really have this choice, even if we haven't been through terrible, terrible circumstances. we still have a choice. And myself, I've experienced a lot of, shitty, horrible experiences to where it's like I still made a choice. And no, nobody's not me, and I don't like to compare myself with others. And for me, it's more of, just take it one step at a time. Don't expect anything. Don't expect it to be easy. Don't expect it to be hard. Don't expect it to, whatnot. But just, start with now. Like, what do you really want to focus on now? What do you want to change now? Me, it was my health. It still is my health. I really wanted to, overcome these things that was going on with myself. Not just my weight loss, but, due to my medical issues and certain things that I was going through at the time. And I really just wanted to overcome those things. I really wanted to fight and just feel good and feel healthy about myself. And that's where I started. And yeah, I think this is just like more of just kind of like a conversation with myself video. Because it's like I've come to this point in my life where I'm really just chilling. I'm really going with the flow. I'm content with who I am. I'm content with where I've come to, and I'm grateful, and I'm really not trying to do too much, because it's like, wow, reflecting on the fact that, yeah, there's a lot of people that I've had experiences with that weren't like the best people to be around. And what I mean by that was, those people had their own journey, had their own understanding, their own beliefs, and their own ways. And that was just not the best for me, because that's not how I seen things. That's not what I believe. That's not how I really felt inside. And that's why, I just needed to part ways, kind of thing. And so now I'm at this point where it's like I'm not fighting anymore. I'm just flowing, right? I'm not fighting my past. I'm not fighting my present. I'm not fighting my future. I'm just flowing. I understand my past. I understand the experiences I've been through. I understand why people probably want to try and come back into my life. But it's like I have those boundaries set for a reason. And if you can't respect them, then there's really no point in you being in my life. And it's like, why? Why not just go focus on your own shit? Because there's those people that have really tried to just come back in my life. And it's like, I don't want you in my life. But it's like they don't hear me or whatnot. But it's funny, because it's like I'm still doing me. I'm still going with the flow. I'm still chilling. I'm still good. I'm still, I'm still here. And that is not talked about a lot, I feel, is the fact that there's people, not just myself, but I've been through so much chaos. Their whole life was chaos. Their whole life was trying to survive and trying to understand things and trying to connect and try to do all these things, right? Fighting to survive, in a sense, right? And now they get to a point where they don't have to fight no more. They're like, wait, is this even supposed to be happening? And that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm at this point where it's like I'm chilling, I'm flowing. But it's sometimes mentally, it's just like, is this supposed to be happening? And then, there's times where I'll start getting into my head and start overthinking things, or feeling, all for emotional. And I have to really remind myself that, like, you've conquered the worst. You've overcome the worst. Now you're at a place in your life where you've always wanted to be, where you've dreamed about being for so fucking long. And now that you're here, you're like, wait, what? Is this real? Is this actually happening? And it's like, that's why, like, with the Harry Potter movies and certain movies, it's like they're always fighting. There's always another movie, there's always another episode, there's always another show, there's always something else, right? And it's like a never-ending story. It's like, okay, when can I just chill and relax? And then when you get to that point, you're like, yo, this is a joke, right? I need something else. And maybe that's when, the random past people start trying to pop back into your life. The test of the universe kind of thing. But me, I've conquered so much, it just doesn't really faze me. It's like, yeah, I know certain people probably watch my videos, pop in, trying to say whatever. It's, for me, it's all about the energy. But it's funny because it doesn't faze me. It's like, oh, I notice it, but then I keep moving along, because that's how I know I've come a long way. I've healed, I've conquered, and I see things differently. And I feel as if, like, I'm right where I need to be. And yeah, it's kind of weird. It's kind of like, okay, like, is this legit type shit? But at the end of the day, it is. That's all it is. And that is where I need to be, and I'm grateful for it. And I do my best still. I chill. I create a routine in a way to where it's like I don't have to stick to it. But if I start feeling like I'm needing to have some kind of like okay, focus on something, and I'd be like, okay, well, this is what I can do, or this is where I could go, or certain things like that. Getting into this place of, hey, I'm starting to kind of like feel a little off, so let's do these certain things to get me back feeling like everything's good still, because everything's already good. Everything's magical, everything's beautiful, everything's flowing. It's just sometimes I'd get in my head to where it's like, oh, you start to overthink certain things that you really don't need to think about, but they still happen. You still think about them, kind of thing, right? Because thoughts are thoughts. They just like to randomly show up in my head sometimes. But the point of this video, I think, is the fact that sometimes we're working to survive. We're working to get to a place that we really want to be at, and we finally get there, and it's like, are we really here? Is this really happening? Like, is this the final destination kind of thing type shit? Or is this like, is there more coming at me? And it's funny because it's like, yeah, we want more to come at us, but in a good way, a healthy way, to where we're like, oh, I got this. And even certain other challenges, because people talk about how, new levels, new devils. And in a sense, I believe that's true. But it depends on how you look at devils. It depends on how you look at challenges and obstacles, especially if you've overcome so many, like myself. It's like, okay, I can look at it as a challenge. I can look at it as a new devil, a new level, a new type thing. But it's like, the worst is over. Like, to me, this is just another interesting, I don't even know what word to use, but another thing to like check off my list type shit. You're like, okay, yeah. It's like the past people, trying to come back, trying to watch, trying to listen, trying to, see what I'm doing kind of thing. It's like, interesting. Moving on type shit. And I don't think a lot of people talk about the fact that when you make it to a place in your life that you've been dreaming of, they talk about, okay, you get to one place, okay, what's next? What's the next challenge? What's the next, hill or mountain or drive? For me, it's like I've overcome many mountains. And I don't want to overcome more mountains. I want to get on one of those lifts and ride up it kind of shit, you know? And I believe that's possible. I believe you don't have to continue to survive in a way to where it's a struggle. It's anxiety, it's depression, it's all these names, right? To get to another top, get to another mountain, get to another, whatever it is. Because the sky's the limit. But what about the flying? What about the airplanes? What about the birds? What about the astronauts? I mean, there's some turbulence. There's some, little minor things that happen sometimes. Yet at the end of the day, you're still flying. You're still buckled in. You're still good. You're still soaring. And I think that's the beauty of just understanding that's possible. Understanding that's real. That it doesn't always have to be terrible just to get to the top. And that's really my message, I guess, for today, wherever the fuck you are, wherever you're listening from. Like, if you've survived many mountains, many holes, many darknesses, many tragedies, just and overcome them, and are at a place where it's like you really don't have to worry about much of anything. And what I mean by that is like financially, physically, spiritually, all those kind of things. Like even just connecting with new people. Like you come into this knownness of yourself to be like, well, if that person's not meant to be in my life, I just keep moving on. Like I'm not going to break down, especially if like I get into another relationship type thing. Like, okay, I understand my boundaries. I understand what I want, what kind of relationship I want to, gravitate towards. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Cool. Kind of thing like that, right? So it's getting to that place within yourself and your surroundings and just knowing that you're not in this survival mode. Knowing that you're at a place in your life where it's like, you're good, you're set, you made it, and now you're just embodying this energy and just going with the flow and seeing what the universe brings you. And that's beautiful. And so if you're at that place in your life, don't doubt it, don't question it, don't overthink it. Just be like, okay, what do you got for me today? What's in the daily news routine today for myself type shit. And just ease yourself into it. 'Cause you know what you know. You feel what you feel. If you feel like you want to sleep in today, sleep in. If you want to get up early and go for a nice walk or run or swim or whatever the fuck it is, do it. If you want to go eat pancakes and a whole nice breakfast and iced coffee and shit, and go do that. If you want to go travel to Venezuela, I don't think I said that right, for a 3-day trip because you got the time and the money and the opportunity, do that shit. If you want to go to that job that you freaking love, that you just it's just something that fills your soul up, and that's where you're meant to be, and you love waking up, getting ready, and driving there, walking there, whatever it is that you're doing, hey, it's beautiful. And even if you don't have a job, if you own your business, whatever the fuck it is for you, right? and you're doing it, and you're at this place where you don't have to survive, you don't have to worry, you're just set. You're set. You're good. You know your guides, your angels, the universe got you, and yourself. Like, it's an awesome feeling, but it's also a weird feeling. So just understand that it's okay. It's okay that it's feels weird, but just take your time and just enjoy it. Enjoy it. And don't focus on the fact that, okay, what's next? Focus on the fact that I'm here. I'm here. 'Cause I'm here, bitches.